At least something. At
It
least
works.
something.
It works.
Yeah, it gets me a buzz.
Might not be the good kind of buzz, but at least a little
Yeah.
something, something.
So what is up, everybody? My name is Acid,
I'm Dalbull.
and this is Melee and More with Acid and Dalbull. This week we are joined with one of my favorite people. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
What's going on? My tag is Bard or Brad or Bradley. Originally from Tennessee, moved up to Fort Wayne like 2018, and been here since. It's pretty much it.
Cool, yeah. You're which region in Indiana?
Which region? Indiana will be Fort Wayne.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't know that. I had to, make sure
Of
you.
course, yeah. Mhm.
But yeah, Bard is one of the sickest players I know. So we're gonna get some
Hyping
good.
me up too much before we play, man. The pressure.
So we're gonna get some good gameplay in. We'll start with the melee section. If you are new to this, how this works is I will be asking Bradley some melee-related questions, and he will be playing some sick melee with good old Dalbull over here. So if you two are ready, let's go ahead and get into it.
Let's get it.
Cool.
Nice.
So as for melee, the first thing I have up is character tiers. So who do you think is the best character in the game?
Well, clearly, Zelda has a down B it's not cheap. I don't know
What?
how to think it's cheap.
Okay. This is regardless of what I think. Who do you think is the best character in the game?
Oh, it's 100% Fox.
You think it's Fox? Okay. So, okay, but like, what does it mean to be the best to you? Like, what? Like, why is Fox the best?
I just think like the combination of the options and just maybe the simplicity too of just being able to do like so well with this character that's so free.
See, that's why I would argue Sheik over Fox. I think Fox is the one character that at any given time he has the most options of any character. Like there are some occasions where another character might have a better option or something, but at any one given time, he has the most options, right?
I'm so almost overwhelmed with suffering from success.
That being said, I think the simplicity is why Sheik is better. Sheik is piss easy, dude. Like, I just kind of dash attack a couple of times and suddenly my opponent's dead. Like, I don't know. It's just, Fox, I feel like there's such room for error and such tight mechanics. Dow in chat. Hello, Dow. It's good to hear from you. But yeah, so I think that for me, the best is who can perform consistently at any level of play. Like, it doesn't just have to be at the top level. I think the best character is who, like, performs the best. Consistently, rather.
It's interesting, okay. You think Sheik is the most consistent at all levels?
I think she's so consistent. Like, I don't know. I feel like yesterday was the first time I've ever really busted out of a bracket, and for a 6-year run, that's pretty damn consistent. Like, that's...
That is not bad. That is not bad.
I feel like I've performed at or above my level at every tournament I've entered until now. And it's just like, I don't know. I think that makes her pretty good. But also, again, I might be biased because I play the character. Abe in chat, Blog Guy, says, Bard! Hi! So it looks like you...
we gotta bring back the Tob soon, man.
Oh,
Makes us
yeah.
Lonely.
But yeah. Okay. So, as for a game that doesn't get patched, right? I feel like it's hard to take the title of best character from any given character. So, why do you think there's such a drastic change in tier lists throughout the time? Do you think the meta can change that much in a game that doesn't get patched?
Shit, I wasn't ready for the hard-hitting question.
We do our research. I don't.
That's fair.
And I'm not gonna be like, hey, do you remember the tier list from 2007? Can you recite the top 7 for me? Like, that's I don't care what knowledge you know, but like there was a pretty drastic change throughout the years. Like Sheik was #1 for 4 or 5 years on tier lists, and then that slowly changed over to Fox. But even then, Yoshi was 22 on the first tier list. So like, why do you think there are such drastic changes?
That's a fair point. Like, I mean, Yoshi was the example I was gonna bring up, just with comps of being able to pop off with Yoshi being so bad early on and just being able to push at least to a higher level. But I mean, isn't Fox one of the highest percentage players in the top 100 play Fox, right?
Yeah, by a decent margin.
So I feel like that's got to be like a little bit of some proof. Granted, it might not be the average level when you're going that high, but
Sure, and
it's there to be like that decent of a margin difference.
And that's a good point. Whereas like Fox was like 35 to 40% of top 100 players. That's a big number. I think the next highest was Falco at like 15. But I don't remember off the top of my head. But I think like Falco, Marth, and Sheik were all relatively similar. Dow says Sheik being so high on the early tier list is probably because she has the most straightforward game plan and because ASDI down didn't get abused. I think those are also fair points where it's like these niche mechanics, or I guess not niche mechanics, but like, hey, shit, I just found this thing in this game, right? Those didn't exist. So I think that will change a character's game plan or play style.
And the items on too. Sheik with items.
Sheik with items. Her throw animation's pretty hot. It's pretty good.
Pretty hot.
Hey, alright, look. I mean, like, pretty, like, good.
And even with like you said, it's a patchless game, but maybe that's true for like first party, but I think like something like UCF could even be considered a patch, because I think like something like controller, I guess usability has a big impact on the meta.
That is true. Like, to Brad's point, like bringing up Fox's consistency with like good controllers, just consistent movement, that's a big thing for him. Because I think that at his core, he is the best character. But, you know, when he flubs, when he has to do like some frame type movement or options, ooh, or kill himself. See, like, obviously that wasn't a controller thing, but yeah. Okay. So you think it's Fox? Do you think there are any other characters that could be number one?
Oh, that's tough. Whenever I watch Zane play, it's just he makes the game look so easy.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know, like it just. Oh. But then again, like Zane also has like his puff's insane too. But
his puff's
something
alright.
about
His puff's okay. It's.
His puff
Let's
has
calm
done some
down.
crazy things, man.
I mean, I don't know. I think his Roy is matchup inexperienced cheese, and his puff is interesting. His Roy has better results than his puff.
That's fair. Oh, but that's just like, you know, kind of worse, Marth, similar-ish type deal.
I could see that.
But like, does anyone else have like a puff that's as solid as bad as like a secondary that like, you know, not maybe
Mango?
not counting like Mango, who's
Right. I feel like Cody's puff is okay, right? Didn't he do a thing about that? I don't know.
Maybe he did. Need to watch more streamers, man.
I don't know. I think that at the end of the day, if you're already at that top 10 level, you can play most characters at a pretty consistent level.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
No.
Because everyone does have their pocket fox, which is
H Fox is so good. H Fox reminds me of Acid Fox, and it's really funny.
Just said it was good.
Hey, whoa. But yeah, and like J-Mook kind of has a fox. I don't know. J-Mook has a fox.
His fox is actually kind of insane, too.
It's good. It's good. But like, it has like very chic fox kind of feel to it.
Yeah, no, it's like tech chasing in like weird situations where like you normally wouldn't see Fox doing that. Of like, oh, he's just playing weirder chic.
So Dow says Puff is definitely the most underdeveloped character right now. I could see that. I feel like she just doesn't have the representation that other like top or high tiers have. I like that smirk, Brad.
I was just thinking about it. the inspiration behind all that.
You do some
All
dumb
that
shit,
stuff.
and then you're just like, that's right, that's right. Yeah, Dao, he goes for a lot of like aerial RTC, like you were saying, like Nair, or like even RTC with dash attack or fast fall up air. But yeah, so moving on a little bit, going from in the game to outside of the game, mindsets. How much do you think a good mentality will affect the play?
Oh, I feel like that's almost like half the battle. On like, you know, especially like the first few tournaments you're going to, the nerves you feel, it's just makes your play so much worse. I don't know how some people
Turning
do it so well.
turning nerves are real. Yeah. So you think that? Do you think it's more important to have a good mindset or have good, like, tech? I guess.
See, that almost goes like hand in hand there because you have, first of all, if you don't have the tech, like, you know, you can't do it regardless if you're nervous or not, but
Sure.
being able to do something 10 times out of 10, like friendlies, hanging out with the homies, doing all that, does not translate whatsoever to grand finals, top 5, whatever, top 8, game 5, yeah.
Sure.
Dude, talking and playing is so fucking hard.
No, it's such a buff that Dalton and I get where it's like, we do this every week. We're chilling. And we get to bully you new kids. Ah. It's like Christmas Day every Tuesday.
Like new kids, but might be the youngest one out here, Mason.
Excuse me. Alright. I've been playing for 9 years now.
9 years?
Not
When is that?
not actually. But no, I
Dude, no, I think I'm at 9 years. Shit.
wait, shit. That was my long joke. Oh, Dalton. A humble god. But yeah, so I think that a good mentality is probably a little more important to me. I think that you can get away with just like random bread and butters, but like if your head's not in it, or if you like, I don't know, it's just, I've played angry before and it's not good. Like you just
So
play like, you play like dog shit. But,
I guess yeah, I wasn't able to finish my thought. Like not having the tech, even if the nerves are there, but I guess, I guess I didn't even really finish my thought. But I guess if you lack the basic tech, like you get a newbie who hasn't touched the game, they have the best mentality in the world. But they're like an ultimate player and they just can't push the buttons, can't do anything in general. But I guess if you're thinking like higher levels too, as opposed to just like the basic level of can you actually push buttons and play the game. Oh, but then like higher level, especially when like everyone has the tech.
everyone has that tech. Yeah.
Then like, you know, everyone has off days too. That's, you know, the difference between,
Sure.
you know, us amateurs and professionals is the consistency where, you know, they can do pretty much anything constantly, just the moment's notice.
You both suck.
Oh, what do you mean? I'll take those.
No, but I get what you're saying. Like,
The professional, the consistency is the difference between like, you know, all the top 100s and the rest of us is at least a major factor. That was something one of my buddies back in high school told me when like professional musicians who are just insane at what they do. The difference between us marching band nerds and them is the consistency as they practice 8+ hours a day just to hold one note out and make a constant sound with
no waiver. Sure.
no waiver.
Yeah.
So you think that mentality plays a much bigger role the farther you get into like, or like the higher you get into the levels?
Definitely.
Okay.
That doesn't mean it doesn't affect, you know,
Sure. Yeah.
us common laymen.
Yeah. Even us plebeians are affected by the good old mentality. I get it. Inner Greninja in chat. Bard, thoughts on Gromp 00?
Rom 00. Might need a little more context.
So Gromp is secretly the best ultimate player in Indiana. I guess not really that secretly anymore, but He entered a Melee bracket and won it over like Pringles and Blitz and other Indiana like pretty good players, or Indianapolis rather. This past week he lost to Blitz and Blagai, but like even winning that one weekly is pretty solid.
That is, especially because I know if you bring us Melee players into the Ultimate scene, you know,
we are trash.
Nearly those results.
Yeah. Okay. Going back to some mentality though, why do you think we see? You know how like there are people that are like, oh, this dude is so good in friendlies, and then just doesn't perform in bracket? Why don't we have a person that's like, oh, this dude's cracked in bracket, and then just dog shit in friendlies? Like, is that a mentality? Like, is that a Tourney Nerves exclusive thing, or?
Exclusive. It might be just because I feel like unless you're like sandbagging, tossing in friendlies,
Sure. Yeah.
you're not gonna be cracked only in bracket compared to the other people who are.
Just like they
more
struggle.
used to-
They struggle
yeah.
to find that groove when they actually enter the bracket. Okay. How would you describe your personal outlook on Melee?
My Melee, I started off being the lamest player. First of all, starting with like Huff and Icy's playing those like way back in like 2013, 2012, and for some dark times. But then after picking up Fox, because one of our other buddies, after we were all doc kids, he grinded tech alone and was suddenly the best out of everybody. And like for some reason, like he was the one who was just chasing away of just getting
ahead of everybody.
slightly
Yeah.
past everybody. And then like that's where it's like, okay, like fuck all these other characters. Like let me swap to Fox, put all the time in there, and just a little easier to do everything. But where's
Makes
that
sense.
going?
Your outlook on Melee.
Outlook on Melee.
Yeah.
Right?
So you were the
Doing
lamest.
that-
Hang on. First of all, you were the lamest player. Aren't you picking up Yoshi?
Okay, Yoshi is sick, but
Yoshi is
Crazy.
bottom 3 characters if you're trying to be cool.
bottom 3. There's some interesting. Yeah, I guess like Amsa does cool shit just because he's like so fucking good. You can't do that on Yoshi's. But yeah, it used to be the lamest. Like I just always go for shine spikes, friendlies, just try to cheese, game constantly, just like trying to play for like back in like junior year of high school.
Sure.
Just-
Hey, there's nothing lame about winning. I'm gonna be real with you.
Real.
That's.
It's all up to personal preference.
I get what you're saying. You don't play to win anymore. You play because you're like, I'm gonna hit this cool shit. Like I'm gonna go for this.
It was even in like, in college, like early college too, because I started at UT before moving, University of Tennessee before moving up to Indiana, and there was some stream games playing with some buddies, and like I would still be, quite the cheeser with like, everyone in friendlies, and it's like, after moving to, I feel so bad because it's like only after moving to Indiana where like, actually trying to just not be the big old cheeser.
I like how you moved to Fort Wayne, Indiana, and your goal was, I'm gonna be cool as shit. Like,
Well, it was, guess like,
old Bard shines there. Dalton was dead.
I type it again.
Oh, real.
Bard wobbles there. But where was that going to just like coming here because like moving to a new area, not really knowing people because being in Tennessee my entire life, like I was just like online playing some net play where versus this man named Robbie who talks about like, oh, there are some some weekly tournaments going on at IPFW formerly. So like go there, and I remember looking at the Facebook page and Hunter or Strom,
Yeah.
there was like mention of like something called amateurs bracket, which Knoxville didn't have the biggest scene. This wasn't a thing, so I was like, what is this? Like, this sounds interesting. He's like, oh, if you don't make top 8,
You can
you
enter
get to keep playing and
yeah.
like, get another bracket. I'm like, oh shit, like that's
That's
sick.
beast,
Like, I get
yeah.
to go and like, even if I suck and bust her out, like, fuck it, we get to play more. And that is the only weekly I've been to where I've beaten Rodney. where for some reason he was playing Fox, and I don't know who else I lost to. I think I beat Toast and Rodney that tournament in like
I think
2018 randomly, and like ever since then it's been downhill with my tournament career of never beating Rodney in bracket again. Maybe only like once other Toast in net play, but
I think I remember them being like, yeah, this dude just moved here. He's cracked. Like he's and like
so
you.
I feel like I was like hustling with like asking Hunter like, oh, what's this amateurs bracket? And, like,
Oh
suddenly
no.
somehow popping off, but
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
Like,
yeah.
that's
You're
like-
so you're cheesing in real life instead of in game now.
right, exactly.
Okay,
After
okay.
like playing for many moons and just finally realizing the boys Fresca, Bad Kid, and G God back in Knoxville, all the sick stuff they were doing, and just like me just being lame, like always constantly. Granted, I was the one constantly getting clipped on
Sure.
the streams that probably exist out there on my Twitch on the clips, but just took me moving all the way away to where the biggest influences on my play, I would say.
Sure.
But
So-
that regarding to tournament stuff, it's just I don't know if maybe I was a little more of a competitive player when I was like trying to cheese and like just go for said dubs, but afterwards it's just I don't know. I think my ideal melee is just hanging out, having a few to many fews of brews or drinks, and just like
Just
chilling,
hanging out with the
playing.
friends. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's a
where,
beautiful
like, more
thing.
of a social game where it's kind of going on in the background during
Sure.
some nice hangouts.
I like that. Yeah. So a couple of chat questions. Everyone started listing off their top 3 lamest characters, and so Integral Ninja says, Bard, what's your top 3 lamest characters and why?
Top 3 lamest. That's a tough one. Are we only talking about top 8s, or can we go? I guess,
Like-
would you even consider some of the low tiers as lame?
I will. You can just say low tiers, and that'll be one. Like just any low tier.
Well, I feel like also maybe like the way you play a low tier, but them
I
in
mean,
general,
this is just in your experience, like
in
your
my experience.
your personal opinion. And, actually, before you start, because this is funny, Rod in chat. I just got here, and he's already talking shit.
yeah, I've mentioned never beating again. Like, granted, when I was one of the early times when I was drunk and I did have that dub over the belt, I think I was like drunkenly talking in like the Fort Wayne chat. Like I was like asking for like the most underrated players in Fort Wayne, and I think I put Rod as my most overrated player. And that opinion was changed real fast. Real fast.
That is actually so funny.
He was kind of cracked cuckoo bananas.
I really like the most overrated player. Definitely Rod. That's has dropped like 3 sets in Indiana in the past like 3 years. No big deal.
He just hasn't been exposed yet.
Real.
Now that Prince of Boo's here in Fort Wayne. Also, I had to play Prince of Boo round 2 at our weekly. What is this bullshit, man?
So is Puff on your top 3? You got.
I think Puff is.
Puff is
Just
top
because
3.
of
Okay.
playstyle-ish, and it's so weird. It's just like no, I don't want to say like air camp, but I guess just like the air movement stuff.
Sure. Just
Just
her
so-
her amount of drift and
I guess it's maybe more of a personal thing because like I know Fox should just shoot the gun, constantly run away, do whatever against all the floaties, but I don't want to. It's so like boring to me.
sure. Yeah, you still want to play your game your way.
Yeah,
That is like
but
the
I guess
9th
that's
game
where
that's ended with you killing yourself, though.
it happens, but I guess that's also maybe just that's on me for entering a tournament where not playing to win necessarily. Where
Mhm.
like yeah, I can just run away, shoot the gun, shield, game constantly, but it's
Sure.
just not enjoyable for me to just play that way. Which
I get it. You want to scrap. You want to fight.
transition from the where I would just constantly do that shamelessly and friendly, says Tracy loves to lie about.
So, Puff, and then I guess other characters that would make you not play in a scrappy way. Like, how do you feel about Samus?
Ooh. Samus is interesting because at one point, with not having like grab follow-ups as Fox or like true grab follow-ups, it's so rough sometimes.
Sure.
To be super safe on shield, don't get hit by the upbeat. Now you're like bringing up these like suggestions. Like, dang,
I mean,
yeah,
that
is
is
an annoying character to play.
that is because I am very. I have some feelings about Samus.
Yeah, this is an anti-Samus interview series.
Yeah, people are like, yo, get Frost on, get Wreck on. No shot. No.
Talk to a
Out of
Samus
my
main
own
for an hour.
personal. I mean,
But
I can respect how they're playing the game, which is, playing to win. Like, you shouldn't be approaching like that with Samus and like, a very campier playstyle. But for some reason, Samus with like how many worse things she has like compared to Puff, it feels less bad to feels less bad for that to happen. And I guess, if they're just not approaching, I can just fire the gun and that seems to be the solve of all the problems of bad matchups, or unfun matchups. But that's
sure. I like
now that you're talking about Samus,
right?
it's like in like the Samus, almost like the Luigi, where like some of the combos just like don't work. But
Let's calm down, okay? I Abe is one of my best friends. I love that dude.
okay,
You
Abe
can't.
is sick. Abe is sick. I can't lie about that one. Makes me jealous because Luigi was also one of the initial possible starting mains, but like holy moly, was his recovery just way too bad.
Yeah, I like the Falcon main in chat. Samus is fun. You just have to up air her a lot. All right, let's calm down, yeah.
Yeah, I did have a long session with Rek playing Falcon because he was like, hey, like, you mind like playing some Falcon? And normally, being the one-trick pony, my Fox is definitely better than all of my other characters by far, but that is some weird stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Some super weird stuff.
So, look, I know we're interviewing you, Brad. Ooh, that was deep. Nice. Palette, why do you hate Sheik so much? Of all characters and all players, why do you hate Sheik?
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. I think both of your Spaceys are pretty nice with it. Like, if you were like, oh, my Falco's about as good as my Fox, I'd say, yeah, okay. Like, I think Fox is your best character, but if you said Falco, I'd believe it.
For me?
Yeah, for you.
That's crazy.
Your Falco's nice.
Yeah, the bust out some.
Yeah,
I feel like it sometimes has some things, but like other times it is
Sure.
not there.
As long as it's not Yoshi, I'm chilling.
That's all it is. You're just trying to get me out.
But yeah. So real quick, before we run out of melee time, burnout. What does burnout look like to you? Like, what? How do you cure or prevent burnout from happening?
See, I guess at that point it's also like, gotta ask yourself the questions: what do you want out of the game? Like, for me, I don't think, maybe at the beginning, like being a little more of the competitive vibe in high school, but that's just definitely not it for me, where like, I'd much prefer Saturdays at Matt's house, hanging out, grabbing lunch, just shooting the shit, going to late night Culver's, just hanging out. It's such a more enjoyable time for me overall than like entering these tournaments that so try hard, people playing in certain ways that it's like, let's not interact because that's the best way for my character to play. That's how I win.
I mean, top 5 melee experiences for me is Brad's house. Like, I always have such a good time there.
Yeah, I'm trying to host another Bard's BQ.
Hey, all right.
So
Honestly,
hopefully-
like that, one of the Brad's houses was during the time where Simon, the NWI player,
yeah.
he wasn't going to the NWI weeklies, but he showed up to a Brad's house, and I was like,
Yeah,
I was
Don't
like,
get me started on
I feel like.
I was like, yo, what's up, Simon?
Someone was going to like Southside instead of Crown.
Okay, but that's like almost funny. Like it's fucked, but it's almost funny.
How much farther of a drive is that?
A lot. He lives like
Yeah,
5
so-
minutes from Southside,
Damn.
or from Crown.
Yeah. Yeah, you had about 2.5 hours to the drive for him.
Holy, that is nuts.
But yeah, so essentially, you think like you can cure burnout just by asking yourself like, hey, what do you want out of Melee? And then if the answer is like, you don't know, maybe it's time to stop, or like,
Um, I guess that might be it. Like, especially like if you're doing something you're not enjoying, like, what is the point of doing that? Like, life isn't long enough to do some boring stuff that, like, I mean, I guess work is kind of what can you do about work?
sure,
You gotta work to live, make money, but like not doing things that you enjoy, like why keep forcing yourself? Even if you've sunk costed your way in, you're an insane melee player that does extremely well, but if you're not having fun, it might be time to quit. But
That checks
maybe
out.
you're like the miner meme, about to catch those diamonds, about to get that enhanced from CG, but
hey, chill.
I'm in the same boat, man. I'm in the same boat.
Okay. We will go ahead and call this one last game. Do you see benefits of taking extended breaks? Like, do you think, like, you're just not having fun with the game, you take a few months off, can you come back and just be like, alright, I'm back, I'm feeling great, I'm loving the game again?
I guess is this like full cold turkey break, like never touching, or like still keeping up with tech?
You're streaming.
Oh. I couldn't see who it was while I'm doing.
I like that. But yeah, I guess ultimately it depends on what a break means to you. Like, it can be like any form of break from the game, whether that's, oh, I'm only gonna play when my buddy is like, yo, do you want to get some games in? Or like, hey, I'm just not gonna look at Melee for a few months.
I guess still in both ways. I definitely think breaks can definitely help. I mean, I've gone through my fair bits of. Didn't mean to back there, but fair bits of just like not playing the game. Granted, it's if I'm lazy or like going on travels of some sort, or don't want to drive 20 minutes to the weekly and I'm not doing anything else. But definitely think breaks can help out to rediscover what made you fall in love with the game to begin with, as we're all sitting here playing this 20-plus-year-old game
Sure. Okay.
that's had crazy mods, additions added to it. Not
Yeah.
mods, but, well, kinda.
Some mods. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever taken an extended break, like longer than a few months?
Oh. I must have. I'm like trying to think of like. I don't think I've ever gone in with I'm going to take a long break.
Sure. It's always been
mentality, but just,
accidental
like,
if it's like a long
it just
time.
kind of happens. Man.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that was nice. I like weak bear, strong bear to edge guard.
Quite nice. Quite nice.
All right. Last stock of the melee. One more. That fifth up tilt would have hit Dalton. Oh,
That's
no!
what I
was
was
doing.
going for, upfield.
That was just a homie stock for Brad's 13 that he
Yeah,
did.
Fair. That's fair. It happens. It happens. That's a spacey tag.
Yeah, real.
All right. Well, I will go ahead and set up my stream, and then we can go into the more section.
Oh, I know. I caught the tail end of it was Blitz who was on here last week, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It was after Taco Mark Tuesday. So I was just having a blast chilling in chat, but it was a fun time. I didn't realize the melee and more. And you know, there's first the melee and then the more. So I guess that adds up. That adds up.
Checks out. Yeah. Yeah. But it's all melee all the time, just with some deeper questions. We're gonna get real philosophical in this section.
Oh shit.
Not actually.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm searching whenever you're ready. Yeah. Go ahead.
My bad.
You're good.
So you're newly a staff accountant at Superior Essex. Congrats, by the way. How's that going for you? And do you have any sweet deals on Wire?
Oh, you guys have been doing your research. Yeah, Superior Essex, it's... Technically, I'm hired through Robert Half, and then I cannot mindlessly play Falco. But, some weird company that all they do is make copper wire, pretty much, for a bunch of engines and shit, but... Recently, I don't know if I get any special deals on Wire, but... I'm recently there, just... It's probably been... I think 1 month exactly. But... So far, my responsibilities are not that high, which is kind of sick as getting paid an okay amount of money, maybe like 50 grand a year-ish to do very little for this starting position. But when we were speaking of not doing things you like, growing up through high school and college, like... My dad's a doctor. They were very heavy on, hey, go to college, get this education, and started off in engineering. And at first, you know, I thought, you know, I like math and science going through high school. Like, maybe this will be the fit. Like, after the first year of the amount of work, I was like, oh, this kind of fucking sucked. So I'll do the second year. Maybe it'll get better. It did not get better. I was on academic probation my second year at UT. Things just needed to change, so coming to Indiana, I was like, you know, business, accounting, still kind of similar with math. Maybe that'll be a better fit.
Sure.
Still don't know if it's a better fit.
We're working on it.
Graduated with
Hey,
bachelor's with major in accounting, and like, it's maybe it's just, you know, never really found like a big. I really want to do this for work. Like, my dad loves what he does, makes way too much money doing what he does. But somehow he found that whatever, that somehow just able to love what you do and make insane six-figure salary, where I'm just like, I hate all kinds of work. My dream job is making as much money as possible, doing
as little as possible. That's right.
But so far that hustle is it's on the come up at the start, but it's no minimum wage, but it's no six figures.
Sure. And I'm familiar with like accounting as a concept, but like, what is a staff accountant? Like, is that like paycheck stuff, or is that what is that? I guess.
Right. Okay. I think that's a good question. I think staff accountant is just a fancy word for your kind of most like general basic accountant. So I'm pretty new hired out. I've had internships in accounts payable, which is, you know, similar.
Okay.
Paying other people stuff, and some audit position interning at Vera Bradley and Franklin Electric, which both their headquarters in Fort Wayne, which is kind of insane.
Yeah.
So many people have their headquarters here, but pretty much staff accountant's just a fancy word for your just general accountant that does pretty much whatever.
Those instant uppies were correct. Like
the needles were there was nothing to do.
And you were talking a bit about like your dad has this dream job that makes a lot of money and he feels fulfilled with it. Do you think like a job like that exists for everyone, and it's just like a matter of finding it?
I mean, I definitely think it could exist for everyone if I could somehow play Melee or RuneScape or some other game for 8 hours a day and somehow make even more than, you know, what some doctors are making with, you know, the popular streamers. Like, you know, I would love to be able to do that. Is it that easy? Definitely not to
Sure.
I've some days like sometimes I'm a little degenerate. I'll get some 8+ hour days of playing games, and I just feel almost disgusting afterwards of just this greasy gamer of I don't know how my body let me do this, and I get up from my computer and I'm just like, holy moly, and somehow
No,
they
that's
do
real.
it just fine. And thought you were gonna hop out there. I'll put the Falco. I was meaning to put the Falco against the Fox, but I didn't. It's such an easier matchup.
No, that's all right. That's all right. Havoc
definitely think
Valor. Thank
Exists
you.
out there, or I could just sit on my phone all day for 8 hours and somehow get paid an actual salary. Like,
Yeah.
Havoc
Yeah, if you
Valor
find
with a
that, let me
raid,
know.
real quick. Sorry.
Are you good?
Thank you for raiding. That's very cool of you.
oh, who ended up winning the?
I believe it
that-
was Spence, but
Because it was him and Roy. Cyclops,
yeah,
I
that
wanna
was
say?
grand. Cubby won Thug Finals, apparently. Okay, but Cubby's also
Okay.
nasty.
All
Oh,
The biggest up smasher in Fort Wayne.
me?
No. What used to be Cubby. What used to
Oh,
be
I see, I
Cubby.
see.
Although
Ooh,
I
okay,
can
okay.
respect it on the Fox. I have a great memory with
Yeah.
with Cubby, a fellow cracked out Fox man in Arizona right now, but I have a very vivid memory of one of the earlier tournaments I was here. He's shooting the gun at the start of the game, just short hopping in place a few times to get some 3%. So I think it was like game 2 or game 3, just like instantly just like run at him and just double shine and just like kill him at 0 right off the bat because he was shooting the gun a little bit at the start. I was just normally, not trying to be too cheesy, but I guess tournament setting, that
Yeah, you
old
can't let
dog
that
comes back
slide.
out in me, and
No, they're definitely nasty.
I was watching their performance, and oh my lord,
No, I fast fell the nair.
you should have had it. You had it. I'm almost sad it missed. But yeah, the performance at that dang, you scared me. Was quite nice with it.
So, after a long day at work, what's the first thing you do when you get home?
Go to work. CG.
Oh, first thing I do. Oh, I think it's chill in bed for a second, which is
That's
a
so
very bad
real.
habit I'm trying to get rid of because
That's a
I'm trying
great
to be
habit.
a little. It's so nice and so just to at least take off the button up and some of like the khakis or jeans I'm wearing, just relax, get into a little more normal clothing. But over COVID and not being a young spry stallion of young 18-year-old whatever, I gained maybe 20 pounds since coming to Indiana and from Knoxville. So suddenly the sedimentary lifestyle and drinking daily when my dad's brewing beer in his free time and eating second dinner because we
That's
just
right.
have leftovers in the fridge, somehow going from 155 160 to 170 180, it's so recently after getting home, give myself 15 30 minutes to chill a bit, maybe longer, maybe less, and starting to work out a bit more because so many of my
Ayo.
buddies in Knoxville are just nerdy weeb exercise machines, and kind of fucking jealous.
I feel like that's not the combination I expected. Nerdy weeb exercise machines.
it is. They are beasts. They are beasts. To where definitely a weird combination, but there's some dope people. There's a reason why I'm constantly still going to Knoxville and chilling, hanging out,
Sure.
Yeah.
because the peeps are.
Those are your boys. I get it.
Yeah, known most of them since high school too. Most of them were part of either going. I mean, most everyone. Our schooling system was Farragut, and they had all the way from kindergarten to high school. So a lot of them too, just in classes with him for ages.
The first thing I do when I get home is take my pants off. From Blah Guy.
Honestly,
That's a good
that
answer.
is part of the pants, yeah.
Yeah. What are your 3 favorite video games outside of Melee?
3 favorite games outside of that is a. Oh, anything favorites is so hard to. It's so
Just
hard
on the spot, yeah.
to come up with. I think one of them definitely has to be. Definitely has to be old school RuneScape. There's so much time and nostalgia into it that it'd be. Yeah, that's always so good. It'd be a crime to not include that in the top 10 at least.
Sure. It does have the same kind of like longevity as something like Melee does.
For sure, for sure. Everything else, I'm really all over the place in games, from shooters to League, MOBAs to mainly the biggest ones I steer clear from are mainly single player games. If I'm playing a game, it's like not really a means to an ends because I still love playing like RuneScape alone, but definitely to be able to like play a game with a buddy, some like Borderlands or some 5-man League stacks or
Okay, but like
a couple Q stacks Valorant.
your Leona's dirty.
League's actually been on a little bit of the decline recently of just for some reason it just isn't hitting as hard.
I get that.
Mm.
You gotta
Patch League of Legends is the worst one yet.
you gotta get in some Indiana Melee Clash. That like reinvigorated my having fun with it.
I could see that's like the little more try hard of some lads hanging out. Because I think I was definitely in one of them very drunkenly. When I talk about it, it always makes me like. I always think it like sounds worse if I'm like having all these like stories or times of way too many alcohols in the system. But
No.
Be too much fun.
It's when it becomes a problem, then it's a problem. But until then, it's fun.
Yeah. And I had completely forgotten until you were talking there, but you're sick as hell at CS too. Like I remember you did the 5-stack that one time.
And did I pop off? Damn. I've actually been. The confidence has been wavering recently, as I think the best shooter performance. I think in Overwatch, able to reach Masters, which I think was like 3,500 elo back in like super early seasons, which quite high at the time. Playing Fill Roll too, which was very satisfying.
Oh, yeah.
As that just brings me back to a memory. I was playing Ana healing support on one team. We get kind of pounded one round where we're playing ranked and someone's like, dude, this Ana fucking sucks at healing, like what are they doing? And like queue up again, next game, lo and behold, this dude's on the enemy team and this dude just gets absolutely rinsed by us. I got teammates talking like, damn, like good nano, good heals, and all this other shit. I'm like, thank you, like that's justifying that dude's wrong behavior of like trying to flame and tilt some other members, but
Yeah. And that goes back to a little bit about mentality versus tech we were talking about earlier. You had a good team with a good mental, you popped the hell off. But you had a bad team with a bad mental, and maybe it wasn't so good.
that's a fair point. Either way, that's just another one of the gaming stories. Speaking of CS, though, dude, shooters are so fucking hard.
That's real.
Yeah, real.
To like recently playing some like Valorant and like sometimes the drunk confidence is there. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll play some Duelist. I'll just frag out and click heads. Last 2 times played Duelist, just bottom fragging. I'm like, damn, this game is not it at the moment.
Yeah, I couldn't get into Valorant. I like CS because like I'm not good at utility, and like I can make up for that in gunplay. I can't do that in Valorant.
It's so hard. I'd like to say Valorant and CS almost like Melee and other Smash games. Not necessarily Ultimate, as like the experience with Ultimate is very limited, but just like it's just like not as like crispy, and it's there's just like something about it where like CS's like gunplay is just so unmatched. It's you cannot beat just like the simplicity, but so in depth of
Yeah.
how it goes. But damn, kind of even want to play some CS now.
Icelink in chat asking Deep Rock Galactic.
Oh, Rock and Stone.
I do like Deep Rock. Deep Rock is cool.
Rock is fun.
Oktoberfest event going on right now.
A gunner, not a gunner main, a driller main. Some Deep Rock. The cryo cannon's just way too good. Being able to drill during the missions where you need to dig some more fight and have all it's just so handy.
I'm a scout main myself.
Yep, that's right.
I like to grapple, huh?
Yeah, and then you get the overclock on the rifle where you can hover when you focus shot, so then you can just zip around everywhere.
Damn.
Nah, Scout's the truth. Blah guy. Risk of Rain 2.
Oh, I forgot about some of our Risk of Rain 2 runs. Also bangers, nice dodge also.
Fuck you.
Okay, so I won't use the word favorite for this one.
Oh shit.
What are some anime
I already know
you
where
like?
it's going. Oh, thank you. I had the feeling. I was like, what did I answer again when I was talking about things to talk about? Oh, dude, I used to not watch very much anime at all, and suddenly just becoming a closet weeb of just there's just so many things to watch, and like, or maybe just like so much time to kill where like I'll just turn on random things. But I can go with some of the more recent stuff. Definitely been on the seasonal grind recently with like the new season of Jujutsu Kaisen, Zom 100, Scissor 7 just released their new season here, but I'm kind of all over the place with animes where like it can be the most random shit of some weird rom-com that nobody should be watching to like insane Attack on Titan, gore, death. I don't know how it's so good for some reason that I can't help myself that this random isekai that's being adapted during this season, I just somehow I have to click on this show where it's someone somehow became a vending machine. And
so somebody was telling me that show is really good.
it actually was pretty solid. I'm on like the last 2 episodes, but it's solid it's okay. It's okay. I enjoyed it, but I don't think I'm too hard to please when it comes to like movies or other sorts of media in similar aspects.
Have you seen the Smash anime?
Oh, have I? I don't know if I have. Oh, like the Tomo doesn't play well or something?
Yeah, I forget exactly what it's called, but something like that.
It's calling it a Smash anime is like
Sure.
it's a rom-com with like Smash elements, but like they did have like this section about like use this stopwatch and try to push the button and release it fast enough to where it doesn't add up on the timer to like practice short hopping. I was like, damn, that hits on an emotional level, as short hop is, you know, one of the fucking hardest things in Melee.
That's real.
That and JC.
Interesting.
Maybe it was the PM plane that kind of fucked up my JC up smashes, and I don't know where the JC grabs, but or maybe it's the controller that came with Mario Party 4 into GameCube that I'm still rocking from 2000. Who knows?
Dang.
Energo Ninja says, "You watching Rent a Girlfriend season 3?"
Yes, I am.
Speaking of rom-coms, no one should be watching.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I can't help it, man. I can't help it.
So marching in concert band made up a pretty significant portion of your time in high school. What instrument did you play?
Ooh. Do we have any guesses in chat if people want to take a gander?
Ooh,
If there's any
I
other,
like that.
some other fellow band nerds.
We've had a surprising amount of people who were in band in high school.
Yeah. Yeah, like Blah Guy says tenor sax.
Ooh, tenor sax is sick. Did not play tenor though.
But you played sax.
I did not play sax.
That's fucked up.
Did you play sax?
No. I'm a drummer.
Oh. Did you do marching band or just concert?
A
Or
little bit of
just
both.
play set.
A little bit of both.
Okay, okay. If I had to guess, you a tenor or quads player?
I was a marimbist.
Oh, I actually did indoor percussion during high school as well, and I played marimba 2 years.
It's good. It's the.
It is insanely cool instrument. That is so cheeky.
Hey, did you say cheeky?
Dude, your shield stop, shield. Yeah, no, that's.
Oh.
I think you can do that from the fucking.
Yoshi's is fucked up, dude.
It's fucked up, man.
Black Guy's guessing French horn now.
Oh, I do kind of wish I did. I had a couple exes play French horn. Other band people, there's a lot of band cess that goes down
That's real.
in the high schoolers, hormones going on, spending way too many hours together with everyone.
Yeah, no, that's real. Abe said my fault, OG.
Hey, I mean, I wasn't saying it was a bad thing, but
So then what instrument was it then?
so I played trumpet, so mellophone,
Okay.
French horn was a close one. A close one.
On the topic of having had multiple people on the show that were in bands so far, I'm familiar with band concepts existing. Can you talk a bit about how they work, or if you participated in them?
So, did you say band activities or?
Or
Concepts.
band competitions? Sorry.
Oh, band competitions. So, of course, like, you know, like everyone knows, college football games of like the halftime show with people performing, but I guess that might be what most everyone else is. But competitions are. Our marching band was not it. Our indoor percussion scene at Farragut was pretty solid for. No back air out of that. My controller. But oh, I'm just getting bad memories of some of my fellow trumpets just wanting to. So on a trumpet, there's something called like a tuning slide, to where like you're not perfect when you're playing notes because you have an embouchure, which is like your lips are tight together and they like buzz. You don't necessarily just blow through like a woodwind instrument. So like everyone's a little different, so you have a slide to make sure you're not sharp or flat. To where there was one, I think it was a game, I hope it was a game and not a competition, where one of the section leaders convinced everyone to either pull out their tuning slide all the way or push it in all the way. So just to make the entire section sound abysmal. For,
No, that was a shine.
You did have that. You did have that. To sound abysmal, but sorry, I'm just getting bad flashbacks. But the competitions were pretty cool. It definitely a new experience for high school, because if I didn't do band, I don't think I'd be anywhere close to the person I was now. As
Sure.
I'd still like to describe myself as on the shyer end, but being a freshman and suddenly having to interact with people twice, 3 times your age, not 2, 3 years older than you.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely a new experience of. Should have just armaded, but definitely like helping the social aspect, and like because meeting 2-3 weeks before high school begins for band camp, and just like the general camaraderie that band gave away. I know it's not really answering too much about competitions, but it was just a blast in general, and even in first year or two of college, one of my significant others was in the Pride of the Southland marching band, which is Tennessee's marching band. And the amount of effort and time that goes into it is insane. Like any like noon game that colleges go, like the band is up at like fucking 6 in the morning to like prep, get ready, and like all this other shit. That why did I think that would hit?
We. No!
One too many. I don't know where this is going. I'm kind of getting kind of feeling a little bit of the drinks at the moment. Ramble.
Well, we can go ahead and
Definitely
call.
apologize.
We'll go ahead and call this one last game.
Marbles with the fox.
And last question I have for you is, so you like video games, you like music. What do you think of rhythm games?
Rhythm games. So I have a little bit of a story to go with that. Rhythm games, one of the only, that and Tetris have been the only games that my older sister of 2 years has been better than me at. My parents like to talk about a story where we're playing Mario when we're single digits that I don't even remember, where apparently my sister couldn't beat a level and handed me the controller, and lo and behold, somehow the level's beaten with me on the controller. So other than that, just with rhythm games, definitely a fun time. We were big Guitar Hero fans back in the day, Rock Band. My sister was a percussionist in band, so she
All the
was
cool kids
absolutely insane in Rock Band or the Guitar Heroes that used the drum set, which I don't know how. Just the guitar, the keyboard, those could be, what was that? That was crazy. Could be done so easily, but like I just having some like not having your hands touch the controller like Donkey Konga, where like, you know, you're actually slapping the bongos, but the drums and like actually having, holy moly, it's insane. Actually like using the sticks to try to, can never do that, but rhythm games definitely on the cooler end. I'm so bad at Osu. Osu is so ridiculously hard. If there's anyone who does play Osu, I don't know how they do it.
I think Nikki's a big Osu player. Met him?
Okay. I just have utmost respect for them. I've tried as like, it kind of getting some like recommended videos or something of some people playing Osu. It is just so ridiculous. I don't know if you like need to have a pen and something else to just be absolutely insane, but holy moly is
Yeah,
that
there are very
one
few like
tough game.
Osu pros that use mouse. It's still done though.
All right.
Games get in. Blah Guy says Bard's sister sounds cool.
She's okay.
Damn. Oh, that shield poked. That shield poked.
Hefty.
No,
fat
she's
ass.
pretty cool. Her and her husband like they're pretty big board game fans, and they actually play a bit of RuneScape as well. Because I actually stole my old and first tag from her.
What is it?
Snipe XX2,
Nice.
where she was Snipe XX1. Suddenly, you know, 2 didn't seem so bad.
Right.
Which also spawned my brother being Snipe XX6. And it was just, you know, we're all little culpy cats.
That's kinda
Couldn't
cool.
recover due to talking. Fuck. But
Alright,
no,
I
there's
won't
some
make fun of the acid fox again.
cool things. No, you should. You
What?
should. Actually, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. I wish I remembered some of the interactions in the game.
This is so messed up.
It's kind of missing. It's kind of missing from here, but it could be worse. It could be worse.
I'll
I
drink
think
to
it.
that.
I think it was solid. I think it was solid. Now, if it's going against my bird, I don't know about that one now.
Freebird. Yeah.
Ooh.
Thanks, Leonard. this has been Melee and More, with Acid and Dalbull. I stole your Dalbull.
That's okay.
but
I'll get it next week.
there you go. Bard, you've been a pleasure. Always love playing you, and
Always a blast.
you're a personality.
I definitely want to contribute at least some of that to the alcohol, but I feel like alcohol just lets out the inner feelings that you might not let out when you're sober.
Sure.
So
Did
if
you
it
have
helps me talk more and be a little more entertaining in a person,
I think you're always
I mean-
entertaining, first of all. But yeah. Did you have any closing remarks or anything that you wanted to say?
other than Bardsbecue, which I would love to be hosting sometime soonish. I'll make some fire. I think I might go with pulled pork, potato salad, maybe something else to go. Just something easy. Last time I tried to do burgers, I forgot some wood pellets in the Traeger grill. It was bad. I had
Sure.
to use the stove. It was a bad
mess.
time. If I
Yeah.
just make the food beforehand and just heat it up, it'd be that much easier. But if a lot of people could come make it out, I'd love to find a day that as many people could come over, hang out, barbecue it up. Might even have some melee setups
Sure.
outside on the deck that recently got remodeled because of a storm that destroyed it, and it was kind of bad. But
Less good. Cool.
regardless of that, I think that might be it. Yeah, just let me find a date that works for everybody, or maybe somehow submit something that people could talk about when they could make it.
Abe with the eyes emoji, and Rod said, "Dude smoked out the whole neighborhood." I
Okay,
think in
that is
in
a
reference to
lie.
the. I think in
Oh,
reference to the storm, like the storm.
Well, he might be referencing the smoke that was coming out of the grill, because it was also a grill slash smoker. So when there weren't as many pellets in there, not burning at the right temperature,
Okay, so
They
you
get a
talk shit
little-
about Rod, he gets to talk shit back.
it's fair. He deserves it. He deserves it with his superior gameplay that somehow can't beat Prince of Boo though, which is kind of crazy.
Ooh, okay. Didn't you lose round 2?
It was last stock the first game, and then he double two stocked me on Stadium. But that is besides the point. I did okay. I did
Okay,
better than I was
okay.
expecting going against Prince of Boo.
There you
He's
go.
also- Avi is a pretty cool dude as well.
I love Avi. Yeah.
Hopefully come around to some more forwards that
Um,
maybe come to the bars but Q. I don't doubt he's listening, but
As
definitely have to ask
as
okay.
as we always do, you do get to pick one player, and we will pay for their tournament entry fee for one weekly. Have you already thought about that question? Do you already know who you have?
I have.
Okay.
Name begins with B, ends in Ard.
Wait, no, that would be fire.
That would be so much more motivation for me to go Thursday to the weekly. But
There you
I'll
go.
be going regardless.
Aw,
But it's definitely got to be the person who started me out coming to the Indiana Fort Wayne stuff. Has got to be Roby,
that's a good
whichever
pick.
one he prefers to go by. So
Sure, I like
I don't
it.
know if you're here, Robbie, you boomer who's probably recently, but consider your weekly paid.
There you go. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, it's been a pleasure, and you have a great rest of your night, everybody.
You as well. Thank you so much for the invite. Greatly appreciate it. It was a blast. Hopefully there can be some more Fort Wayne crowd coming on.
I would love it.
Yeah.
See you guys.